Well, that took a lot of cycling around for the screen to come on. Hi, everyone. Welcome. What a day, huh? What a contrast as well. So I wanted to come on and speak about that. And it was like, well, we're so on the edges of things that it could happen. It could happen like that. So I'm like, well, I better speak about this. So I really feel very strongly that we're in physical. Well, we have been in ascension in this physical way, and that we're in this greater experience of it. So, yesterday or last night, I felt in that liminal space, in that floaty space, and today I feel very connected in again to the body, but with this huge excitement, and then this speaking of the heart, and this transfiguration of the body, and this sort of realization about a whole lot of things. So I thought I'd come in because I wanted to. So hi, Debbie and Charlotte and Hollister, and yeah, I'll begin. This change. The reason that I wrote Star Hearts Linked and Activated is because that is what I was shown. So I've been shown how it links up like that, but today I was shown that it's linked and activated. So this is the star shape that's in us, which is slightly different to the star shape that is within the planet. Hi, Sephora. Hi, Chrissy. Hi, Rob. 51 seconds behind. Oh, well, a big lag. Yeah, that's interesting. I think there's all of this moving in and out, really. And this time glitching is a pretty standard thing that we're experiencing at the moment. So we've had, I got it here actually. I'm sure I saw it here. Hold on. Did I? Not there. Anyway, apparently the Schumann resonance measurer was completely out. Completely, it's not surprising. So I don't see that, but there's a thread that I'm on where people talk about it. And I just read the energies. Anyway, this change has quite a lot of, this is the channeled information that came through. So I hope that you're feeling good and excited, and that in your body you're noticing these changes, because we really are in transmigration. So this change, this up leveling, this upgrade, this transition and dimensional shift that we are experiencing, and feeling much more arrived through from yesterday's transitioning experience. And so wondering if you're feeling like that as well, as though you've been on your little parachute glider and that you have come across and landed somewhere. Chrissy from Napier, Sephora from Napier. Oh, that's something. I'm so glad that you've done that, because that was something I thought about yesterday or last night afterwards. I should be encouraging people to, formulate some connections in the physical. And hi, Fiona. All right, welcome everyone. So the weather, the weather with an E, spelt with weather with an H. It's doing a lot of clearing and cleaning and refurbishing, restoring in our world, and it's like we are kind of breaking out of, it's just another level of interference, another level of truth to be revealed. So we're going to see truth related to our history. We're going to see truth related to the manipulation of money and governments and weather and war and all of that. We'll see it. And I want to say you don't have to do anything, but it doesn't really serve us to get too caught up in when will it be shown. So that can be a very, real and tangible desire to be seeing it all or wanting everybody else to know what you already know. But I want to say, just go to the higher place with it, that it will unfold in the perfection of the divine timing, and that everybody doesn't necessarily have to know everything. So yeah, I felt from being discombobulated yesterday, for me anyway, to clear and calm and feeling landed this morning. And this day brings a sense of deep knowing once again and of excitement. So I'm really feeling that sort of anticipatory excitement about what is to come. In the night, curious, really. I'm not going to speak too much about it, but because there's other things. But in the early hours of the morning, so like just as the light was starting to be, and I don't know what time that was, but the sky was full of dragons. So maybe you noticed that. This breath, this new way of breathing, this infinity symbol, it is the infinity symbol. So the infinity symbol is making its mark in a lot of ways in our physical, tangible world. So, for example, the heart space, I think that I've only spoken about it in a shallow way, but if you imagine the energetic heart, what I'm showing it becomes is an asterisk, but that each of the angles on that asterisk is an infinity symbol, and that movement is in flow. So that's what I see as the star, the star heart in the chakra area of the heart. In the internal of the planet, there's a different star, and there's two. So that has always shown up as when all of the pyramids, so you will have heard me speak of that before, the pyramids above ground, below ground, in the ocean, and hidden and known, that they would be connected up, and that they have been connected up, and that there is this sort of they've been running an energy frequency through that. But that on the internal of the earth, that combines in as this shape of two flowers that are like stars or anemones. And so there's that aspect. So that, I'll read about that. But this is all this sort of star stuff. And then something else that I've forgotten, but it will come because I've written it in here about, this light that I got shown in the center of the earth. So yeah, the dragons, and I might do an entire video about this, but the dragons show up, and a lot of you have a dragon. That's your kind of personal dragon. They can be air dragons, fire dragons, earth dragons, water dragons. Some of them are both. They have features that align with those qualities, and that can be different colors and different sizes and have different attributes. And then the other thing I just wanted to mention here that I'll come back and do some more work about is the wings, and that a lot of you have been having wing activations over time that relate to previous lifetimes, this activation of the DNA related to that. And then to today, so a lot of white crystalline light emanating from the earth, touching and igniting all the node points. I was really excited when I was shown this for higher activation, and the interior, these flowers, these star clusters, the interior, the flower petals are running at 75% power today, is what Gaia gave me. So that's internal of the earth. And she said, we are, as humans here on the surface, we are feeling that at about 50%. And it will pick up marginally every hour. And so get your feet out on the ground regularly throughout the day. And this is what Gaia called this ionization process that we are going through by getting our bare feet on the ground, and it's assisting this alchemizing from carbon to crystalline. So you know how we're talking about shifting from being the molecular structure of the carbon-based molecule to the crystalline-based molecule. So this ionization process from having our bare feet on the ground is assisting in that. So yeah, we've got 2 8-petaled star flowers in the center of the earth. And the center of the earth, so if you can imagine this. Imagine that you are in this cave that has a lot of white crystal and a lot of clear crystal and a lot of refractive light that's breaking up into the rainbow spectrum. And so there's a lot of sort of like glowing, glitzy, sparkly light. That's what the inner earth looked like this morning. This, what did I write here? The inner earth is now showing up as a lit crystal cathedral, rainbow fractals of light. So it's like, it's really exquisite, and it's very pure. And now I have some bits about the divine feminine and the divine masculine. So my usual meandering through just whatever comes. So in here, bring on the full wing use, more reliable than New Zealand and the Inter-Islanders. See that? That's cool. That's funny. What else is here? Debbie, we have a dragon or they have us. Well, we have a dragon. So it's like an assistant, if you like. The powerful, magical, amazing. Chrissy's saying she doesn't have any timepieces in her room, not even a cell phone. That's fantastic. Acto's girl woke up 3:33 exactly this morning, chuckled to myself, said hi to everyone, then went back to sleep. Sore eyes today. Okay, yeah, that's definitely one of the Ascension symptoms, isn't it? I better have a better look at the chat. There's all sorts of things that have gone on past here. Oh, dismal weather in Wellington. Okay, we've had nice weather here, but my family on the Coromandel said that it was pouring down there today. Cleansing rain, yeah, I think so. Oh, yes, that's a good idea, Chrissy. It's a good idea to remember that. I often forget that, to refresh the screen when things get a bit wobbly, a bit wonky. Yeah, so some people believe that we are the dragon, and so you can believe that. I believe that we are the dragon rider. That's how it's showing up to me. Yeah, so I'll just, as I'm moving through here, I'll just come back and reflect in. So what I've been shown is that many of us have had wing activations over the last couple of years. They come in through the shoulder blades, through the collarbone, and through the shoulder points. Those are the areas that I've been shown, and it's like an ache. And what I've been shown is that ache in those bone areas is reactivating your DNA that relates to those times when you may have been a winged being. And so that may have been as an angelic, It may have been as a fairy or an elemental, or it may have been as a giant bird. So in the ancient, that's what I've been shown, that there were birds, they're bigger birds than we have on the earth currently, and that we may have been a bird rider as well. So this is the wing activation, but it's actually to do with the DNA activation in relation to that timeline or that experience in that form. Okay, so this is what I got about the divine feminine are feeling whole and complete, that they are, or this is where you have to get to, well, you don't have to, but you are either there or coming to that space, being whole and complete and deeply connected to your soul, to yourself, and to your individual mission. And there's this kind of notion that's been coming up about being and wanting to be claimed, but it's not, it's not Tarzan coming and throwing you over the shoulder. It's this, wanting to be wanted. It's that wanting the divine masculine to show up and claim that you're the one. It's that kind of thing. And so it's not a neediness, it's a knowing. So the divine masculines, they were showing up today. Yeah, so picture this, because it was pretty powerful, I think. An explosive energy from the heart, propelling them forward to love and union and purpose. Hello, Deb Boyle. I'm just reading the chat. Huge expansion in the head, heaps of stuff leaving. Yes, a kaleidoscope and a circle that left. Oh, interesting. Yeah, so we're really in this place of releasing anything that doesn't serve us, and that can be a general instruction to self or to your higher self or your soul aspect, that I am ready to release all of the contracts, anything that sits here that holds me as a vow or as something that I have to attend to in karma or in this preparation to come into the higher. Let me be shown that and give me the guidance on how it can be completed or healed or released. So this idea of healing something and then dealing with it, of soothing and smoothing and then releasing. So this transcending motion, that we're in this this movement of transcendence from this carbon to crystalline, and it's this, this healing and this soothing so that we can come into the higher. So what I get also about the divine masculine is that some of them are scrambling. So they're very concerned. That's funny. Oh, I thought it was funny. I don't know whether you will or not, but some of them are very concerned that they're running late, that they may have missed the mark. That's what came through when I attuned to that. But no, this won't happen. This alignment is true, is what I got about that. It's divinely arranged and orchestrated. And it definitely also showed up that the starter gun has gone off, and they're walking like, the walking event, where there's the rules are that there has to be a part of the foot on the ground at all times. That walking race, that's how the masculine showed up in my imagery. That the starter gun has gone off and they are walking like in a walking event as the athlete. They're very determined and very focused and moving. And this is the other thing. So I noticed that there was this pink ribbon. It was attached, pinned is what I got, pinned to their heart space, and it's got all sorts of crystals around it. And then I hear Gaia saying This is the equivalent of a pin on the map. You know how you can pin the location? So the divine masculines are very propelled in the emotion. Now, there's a lot of pain in their heart cavity. That's the other thing I felt like, very strong pain of stretching. And then stay in your lane if you're the divine feminine. Stay big in your heart, full of love, loving yourself, loving the world, on track for your mission and purpose and for receipt of your divine masculine. So Gaia today, she had this huge white crystal crown on her head, like it was, if you think of a normal crown, it was like twice that high, and it had all these antennae coming out of it. And she said she is preparing for her coronation as the crown jewel in the galaxy. And you'll know, if you've been following this work for a while, that Guy has always spoken about how she, as the goddess, as the planet, belongs in a different place in the galaxy. That this planet is the crown jewel in the galaxy. It's the interdimensional space where people come from around beings come from around the multiverse, and it's the living library of the universe. And so this is honestly, she has a sense of humor, I tell you. So she says she is preparing for her coronation as the crown jewel in the galaxy. So much time has lapsed and so much support she has received. And she is so grateful to all who participated in this momentous return. Oh, yeah. So I interrupt this broadcast because it's here. Because I wrote this today. I saw this on a comment and I thought, oh, that's so interesting, because you know how I've been speaking about how this month things are in the physical. Well, get this. Apparently, Denmark, the government asked all Danish citizens to make a stock of basic supplies for 3 days. They've just done this in the last few days. No specific cause was mentioned, just that the world is a little bit unstable, and there might be possible cyber attacks or weather and climate conditions. So that's to me is fascinating, because that's rubbish. But the fact that this is the instruction, because this is one of the things that we've talked about here for a while, is that the 3 days of darkness will come at some point. And so it's interesting that they have been given that instruction. So this reset we are traversing, transcending, can be outlined as a series of steps. The recognition of the change, to let go and surrender the old. It's really time for that. To give up your old programs, your old conditions, your old beliefs, the old ways of doing things. Just let them go at this level. You can reclaim them at a higher dimensional frequency, but don't let them hold you back. So surrender to the old in order to resurrect to the birthing of your higher aspect. And this may occur through the 3 days of darkness also. This return to self, this going within to evolve back into yourself, back into the original divine plan blueprint. And so this is likely to arrive as the 100% experience of light activation in the solar flash, this bigger emission arriving. So think about this idea of it's, you as a molecule of the waters of consciousness. This is about as that molecule, that single molecule, as the water of consciousness, merging into the unified field, as into the ocean, this higher consciousness, this unified field of consciousness, and that maybe in that time of darkness will be, in the completion of the transfiguration. There's a lot of signifiers showing up, which I haven't got back to getting more info about, but around the 7/7, so the 7th of July, the 8/8, that's the Lion's Gate, and then the other one is the 11th of November. So that is what I wanted to bring you. So we've got those significant dates coming up. There's things happening in the physical. There's interesting things that are showing up here in New Zealand around our government. There's interesting things showing up around the Julian Assange release, and including somebody sent me something today suggesting that he was actually released a while ago, and that what this means is that the world is in a place where it can be receiving the truth from his lips without his life being in danger. So I think that's a massive thing. Lol, Denmark, so understated. Okay. Yes, she really has. She's a remarkable being. Thank you, Art Dose Girl. She's saying, wonderful, been a long time coming. Gaia has had such patience and compassion for us. Hello, Sarah. Lovely to see you here as well. Yeah, that's good. I said to this person a little while ago, sometimes I feel like I'm the guy's cheerleader. Time is moving so quick at the moment. Have you noticed? Yes. So this is all about, and in relation to, I believe anyway, the speed up of the particle. And so there's that aspect. And so we're going faster. So and thereby everything is going faster. But it's also to do with our, it's like we have released somewhat the tethering to the clock, the tethering to the time. And so when we move into this quantum, time will take on a more expanded experience. Yeah, so that's it from me. Has anyone releasing the witch wound? Releasing the witch wound. Oh, I have missed a few things up here. Hold on, I better go back. Oh, wow. Oh, there's heaps in the chat. I'm so sorry. So there you go. Chrissy and Sephora, you can catch up in Napier. Send a private message to one another. Yeah, the weather is funny, isn't it? But we do have things to be cleaned up that we need the weather for. And remember, that's the other thing. So remember that we are going through this kind of involution, this turning inside out, that we are going through expansion. And so for the earth is earthquakes and the tectonic plates having a little bit of a shift. And remember, we talked, I think yesterday, we talked about the volcanic, but certainly the volcanic is Gaia sneezing. And the earthquakes are, Gaia shaking and stretching. So I find that it can be quite helpful to think about our body and the planetary body as the micro and the macro. Chrissy's saying your best friend had a dragon and they're flying high now. Hi, Sally. Kia ora. And hello, Deb. A huge expansion in the head, heaps of stuff leaving. Oh, yeah, so let's get back to that. So in the head, we have been having energetic brain surgery. That's one thing. And there has been this experience of feeling as though the entire skull is being expanded, and so that can come with an experience of bone pain. That can, what bone pain is, very, very painful. And so we're our brain is being upgraded to have different function, and then the brain stem, of course, connects into the spine. And some of you, well, I know that there are some doctors who come on here, and there are nurses, and there are medical people, and there are people who come on here who know way more about the body than I do. But I, in my limited physiology, so I have been shown these things around the body. So let's just do a little review. So we've had brain upgrades. I am shown that the frontal, it's like the frontal lobe of the brain, which often it deals with the processing of information, and in there is this thing called the reticular activating system, which is where we store short-term information. And I've been shown that has been like relocated, or the function of it has been relocated to the cellular of the body, and that we are having like brain expansion, so we can hold more knowledge, because we're going to be, in many ways, we'll be accessing it like an external computer. So you could kind of see that if you were wired up in an invisible way, energetic way, that your brain is wired to the universal brain, to the omnipresent brain of the planet. And so that accessing information, like accessing the mainframe. And then we've had this third eye, the psychic vision, the occipital, all of that relates to this internal vision, the psychic vision, and that comes into this up leveling of our physical eyes as well. So we should all be able to, well, we will, I just don't know when, but we will be not needing contact lenses, not needing glasses, that our vision will be returned to being beyond, better than what it is here, even in its perfected state. And then sort of interesting, weird things that they are pretty weird, but anyway, that I've been shown, that our eyes will be able to function with separate functions and behave more, or have the acuity, I want to say, to behave like a very good camera. So that sort of faculty. So the upgrade of our ear, eyes, and I don't know too much about the nose. I haven't been given much about that, but they'll take on higher functionality. And then what else is there? Oh, this balancing of the brain as well. So the left-right brain, which has particular functions, and the right brain is the more creative, the more flow, often described as the feminine brain, and the bigger, the whole picture. So, and the left brain is the logical, the mathematical, the sequential, and often described as the masculine aspect of the brain. But there's more balancing. So if you've ever done, I should show you this. So here is a little bit of a challenge. So this is the brain gym that I used to do with my special ed class. That when my year 13 students rolled up one morning, the special ed kids just loved it, because the year 13, they couldn't do it. So it's this. So you take your hands here. So at the waist, but I'll do it so you can see it on screen. Cross over the top, cross over the bottom, cross over the top, cross over the bottom. So you do that. And then finger on the nose, finger on the bottom of the ear, and rub it with your thumb and finger. So it's just a little touch, and then swap. And then swap. So 1, 2, 3. It's quite interesting trying to do it in front of the camera. So that's a little brain gym thing. So come on then, tell me how many of you could do that easily. A kaleidoscope in a circle. Oh, yeah, so I wonder whether that's the spectrum. So that's I'll use that as a little launch. So remember how God showed me that we would be moving into this new spectrum of colors. That's to do with the rainbow spectrum. It's the somebody made a comment the other day that the rainbow is broader and has deeper colors. That's the masculine color spectrum that God showed me. And the feminine color spectrum is the more opalescent. So, we're starting to see more and more of that in our sky. I'm glad that they help. It's good. Yes, surrender to the process and trust that what comes will come when we're ready and open to them. That is a masterful statement, Debbie. And if we can all kind of encode that into our way of being, that will be fantastic. Thank you. So the witch wound. So when you talk about that, Sally, is that the wound of the persecution? The wound of, because a lot of us have been witches, we've been hung and we've been burned alive at the stakes. Yep, that might all be coming up for people again, or new if you haven't dealt with that before. Ministry of Silly Walks comes to mind. How do we assist them? What's and who is them, Debbie? Thank you, Sarah. Yes, I've had the silver cord on my left hand frontal lobe. Interesting. And yes, persecution. Yeah, so if it comes up as a memory or as a dream, then I would invite your higher self to show you what is here. What do I need to do in order for this to be released? Nope. What's your Rob? What's your note to? Could you not do that? I don't mean that rudely, but is that what you're talking about? I lose track with where the conversation is in relation to the thread, so I'm sorry. Deb has been seeing beautiful pink ruby sparks, and Yeshua as a golden light body came out of her painting. How amazing. Well, I hope we're going to get to see that sometime. It's just everywhere in your life at the moment. Okay. Well, don't drown in it, Sally. Just be light. Be light with it. All right. So I think that's it from me. And to me, this whole thing about dancing through those portals, the 7-7 portal, the 8-8 portal, and the 11-11 portal, is an indication to me that, because I think we're going to have mini ascension build-ups, I think that I intended to talk to Gaia about this deeply today, and I haven't, but I wanted to ask her about her perspective on the timing of things. But I believe that those portal dates are significant ascension dates. It's interesting that she, that those flowers have been created. They've been linked. The nodes, so this crystal cathedral on the inside. So that was new today. And it was just exquisite. Just imagine being in a room full of crystals and all the light and all the sparkles and the energy. And then so I don't know what all the parameters are, but those are significant dates. And then there's this emission from the sun, and Gaia spoke about that if we have this emission from the sun, that it's likely to put us into this 3 days of darkness, and in that 3 days of darkness we will have our physiological upgrades. Our bodies will be upgraded. I am always shown that we'll be put to rest or to sleep or be guided to lie down. Oh, okay, Debbie, I'll come back to that. Yeah, so this is going to be our experience, and I would say that in my in terms of the information that I have, I would say that it would be probably the outside date of the planetary ascension would be the solstice on the 21st of April of 2025. But everything is speeding up so quickly. So you'll remember how Gaia talked about the nodes being connected. That's that's those stars, those flowers inside that linking up to all the pyramidal points, and that was active, that was connected, and then it was sort of run through, and now it's 70% that she said today. It's up to 70%. So when that gets to 100, to me, that's our activation point. Right. How to assist the masculine as they're going through this challenging time? Well, by being in balance yourself, and by doing your work, being in your alignment, and just hold space, hold loving space, and be open to responding to the inquiries. But the masculine are going through this in their own way, which is different to us, and it's happening for them very quickly. It's in an accelerated form. So there's something to be said for just being reassuring that they aren't mad, to be reassuring that they will get through this, that it will be amazing when they do, and that kind of dialogue. 8:11. Okay, Deb, talk about 8:11. Oh, that's the time. Yes. So all these synchronicities, and it's interesting that I've had this intention probably for the last week to, not that I can nail Gaia down, but to like sit with her deeply and ask her about the exact timing of it, and it just hasn't happened. But yeah, it was very exquisite being in the center of the earth this morning with that total gorgeousness of the crystal. Anyway, much love to you. Big hugs to you. Give yourself lots of hugs. If you're around the people in your house, give them lots of hugs. Be connected to nature. Get grounded. Celebrate this, and be in the love and in the joy of your own heart, and know that we have, we've really got this, and it's very, very close. And I guess if you think about the fact that we're moving into quantum, then it kind of, that's another gentler way of letting that kind of the limited, contracted way that we've been programmed around time. So yeah, just be in the space of knowing, and that there's this aspect of the tipping point, and there's this aspect of the emission from the sun creating the days of darkness. And so we've got a lot of assistance in the physical, and that it's really about when there's enough readiness, and that when that comes, then so we are in the point where we're only getting more light filled, and we're in the place where there's more truth, and that is coming out, isn't it? So even the thing with Winston Peters today is interesting. He's basically asking people or the government to step up and admit that there were lies told, and that the government knew particular information that they lied about. So that's pretty interesting to be coming from those quarters. That's a match with what the trending of what Gaia said about this revealing of truth in this time in the physical, and that in that area of government, economics, health. And then there's more things coming out about education, which is the kind of next cycle. So we're already seeing things about education in terms of the health curriculum and the woke agenda having been woven into that. And then something else as well. I can't think what it was. And then the fiscal collapse of the US, and then whatever is happening in the US with their president, non-president, and then the other thing that I think is going to be interesting is, because I know that this has begun, but because I don't go to I'm really out of touch with that whole sort of mainstream movie thing. But the whole Hollywood collapse, that I feel that's going to have, for some reason, I want to say that's going to have an impact on people in their mid-20s to mid-30s. That the narrative around their lives has been based on many of those people. They've looked up to them as stars, both in the music industry and in the movie industry. So, we've been talking about this, right? That everyone will come into this truth or be revealed to the higher through different modes and different mechanisms. And so I feel that's something to come out. So we've got this the vaccine injuries coming out strongly. And then we've got the fact that the government had that information and lied. And then we've got the fiscal collapse in the States. We've got a lot of, to me, and you will all have your own opinion about this, but obvious clones, doubles all over the place. So I am inclined to believe that a lot has gone on and they've been replaced by clones, so that the world seemed normal. So people's worlds weren't too discombobulated, but that it's the way I've always been showing this change is it's like turning the ship slowly until the point where it does this rapid spin. So that's my tuppence. But yeah, it feels very, very close that we'll be positioned to then be this creating of the new, this creating of communities where there's more sharing of resource, where the whole money systems will go through several transitions, where we will know that this as I call it, the whakari and whakari of especially the poisoning of our food and of our water, all of that. Yes, I agree. There's a lot going on that and is distractions. I'm not convinced that there's an actual war. I'm certainly not convinced that there's been nuclear devices set off. I was told a long time ago that would never be permitted, that a nuclear warhead or a nuclear explosion would never be permitted, because now that I nearly said now that I know more about science, that might be a stretch, but now I have this understanding that because I was always shown that it would impact through the galaxy, and now I have this understanding how it could, and I don't understand the quantum area of this at all, but that it could rip a tear in the I don't know what to call it, in space, and that has an impact. But I was always shown that it would not be allowed to occur because of the impact it would have through the galaxy, through the universe. So that's just scaremongering. So the whole premise of control is based on fear, and that's why all of our lives have been, we've been fed this information to keep us in fear, to keep us in control, to keep us in limit and lack. And we are busting out of that fabric of space. That's a good way of describing it. Thank you, Deb. The QFS will merge with the banking system eventually, and no government. Yeah, that's a pretty good solution to all of that. And what else are you saying here? We are in a different place. There's a little heart icon that sits right over the last few letters in, I don't know, something. Hold on. If I do that, then I can see it. We are in a different place in space, part of the 26,500 year shift. Okay. Yeah, the Kali Luga. Yeah. Yeah, so that's a match with how Gaia showed me that we will return to our original place in the galaxy. So this is what we are on the edges of, and it's not this. It's not the end of the world. It's not this giant explosion, as far as my understanding. It's not the destruction of humanity. It's the upleveling. It's the uplevelment, the upleveling of humanity to a higher dimensional frequency, and it's this idea that we will, move into this sort of social fabric, this community where all life matters. So yeah, it is exciting. All right, much love to all of you from my heart, and thank you. And we'll talk again soon.